Hello students. So today we are on the concluding part of our story, the gift of the Magi. So far we have read that Della, out of her love for Jim, has gone up to the extent to lose one of her best treasures, that is her long hair. She sold them and had purchased a chain for the watch of Jim, the gold watch of Jim, which is the second treasure of the house. But when Jim enters the house, then he finds Della without the hair, so he looks quite vaguely and quite fixedly at Della. Della, in an effort to dissuade the attention of Jim, asks him that if she should go and put the chops on. Now, out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He unfolded his Della, and then suddenly it seems that in a very quick moment, Jim has woken up from the sleep, from the trance in which he was so far, and he unfolded his Della, means he embraced Della. He put her close to him. For 10 seconds, let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. And the writer says that they have remained in that close proximity for a time being, and he says let's divert our attention for these 10 seconds to some other inconsequential things because they were just standing still there in that posture. $8 a week or $1 million a year, what is the difference? A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This dark assertion will be eliminated later on. So now he brings us nearer to the conclusion, and he says $8 a week or $1 million a year. What is the difference? What is the difference? Because now he is asking it in terms of love, in terms of affection, in terms of sacrifice, or in terms of the capacity to spend them, in terms of the capacity to show that how much you have, how much you love someone. He says $8 a week or $1 million a year. What is the difference? I think that there is no difference. They are all the same when it comes to show your love, your care towards your loved ones. A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. And he says perhaps if you ask this question to a mathematician or to a wit, means to an intelligent person, then perhaps you might have a wrong answer. Why wrong answer? Because obviously the mathematician would tell you that $1 million a year is a big amount than $8 per week. But here he is telling us from the point of view of this story that no, even $8 is a very big amount. How? He will tell us later on. The Magi brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This is the Magi, as we have talked about at the very beginning in the introduction of this story, that those three saints or those three priests, the Magi, who has brought very valuable gifts for the child Christ. He says they have brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. Means they were not among the mathematicians or the wit themselves. This dark assertion will be eliminated later on, and this dark assertion which I am making now, that even the Magi's, those three saints, those three priests were not among them those highly rich people or highly devotional people. Note this difference. This dark assertion which I am making, that even the valuable gifts were not that much valuable, will be eliminated later on. Means later on in the story you will come to know That why I am saying this thing, that the gift of those magi were not that much valuable. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. Then Jim bring out a package from the pocket of his overcoat and threw it upon the table. जिम ने अपनी जेब में से एक पैकेज निकाला, मीन्स एक कोई गिफ्ट जो भी वो लाया था डेला के लिए वो निकाली एंड थ्रू इट ऑन द टेबल, और उसे टेबल पे फेंक दिया बजाय डेला को देने के लिए. डोंट मेक एनी मिस्टेक डेला, ही सेड, अबाउट मी. I don't think there is anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like my girl any less. He said, don't you think about me that I would not like you after this haircut of yours, because this haircut or a shampoo or a shave or anything like this will not come in my way in loving you. I will like you the same. But if you will unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. But he says, if you have a look at this package, look at this present which I have bought for you, then you will find out that why I have been in such a condition so far. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper, and then an ecstatic scream of joy, and then alas. Then he says, those white fingers of Della, in a very quick, in a very nimble moment, they have tore the string and the paper which was covering the package, and then an ecstatic scream of joy, and then there was a very large scream of joy, a very happy scream of joy, and then alas, then again a very sorrowful sigh from Della. Why? Because a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the Lord of the Flight. And he says, and in a very quick moment, that feminine change of hysterical tears and wails, means first it was a cry of joy, then it was a sigh of sorrow, and then there were those hysterical wails and tears and all those feminine, we can say, those actions which has called upon the immediate action from the Lord of the Flight, means from Jim. Means what writer is trying to say here, that when she opened that package, first she cried out of joy, पहले वो खुशी से चिल्लाई, then a deep sigh, और फिर उसने दुख में एक आह भरी, and then in a very quick moment it has changed to that heightened momentum of weeping and wailing, और जल्दी उसने रोना और आंसू बहाना शुरू कर दिया. And she started it in such a big degree that very soon it became very necessary for Jim to take action of all the comforting powers which he has. कि जल्दी जिम को अपनी जो भी कंफर्टिंग पावर्स थी जिनसे वो उसको कंफर्ट कर सकता था, उसको बहला सकता था, उसके तकलीफ को कम कर सकता था, वो एम्प्लॉय करनी पड़ी. For there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, that Della had worshipped long in a Broadway window. And why all this has happened? Because the gift which Jim has purchased for Della was what? That was those pair of combs, side and back, means one comb is to make the side hair and the other one is to make the back hair, which were very long ago being envied, being worshipped and being looked for by Della. ये एक कंघी का पेयर था, एक कंघी का युगल था, एक जोड़ा था जो कि बाल बनाने के लिए था, साइड और बैक, और जिनको बहुत सालों से डेला जो है वो देखती रही थी, निहारती रही थी. इन्हें ब्रॉडवे विंडो, ब्रॉडवे एक मार्केट स्ट्रीट थी, वहाँ किसी दुकान की जो शोकेस होता, जो विंडो होती, उसमें से उसको वो देखती रही थी. ब्यूटीफुल कॉम्स, प्योर टॉर्टोइज सेल्स with jeweled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. And those combs were so beautiful, they were made of the tortoise shell and they were decorated with jewels, and that was a perfect thing to wear in those beautiful hair विच आर नो लॉन्गर नाउ, वो जो वेनिश हो गई, वो जो गायब हो गई ना वो बाल, उन बालों में पहनने के लिए ये जो कंघी थी एक परफेक्ट पीस थी। और दैट्स वाई, समझ आया कि जिम उस तरह से उसको घूर क्यों रहा था, जिम इस तरह से निशब्द होकर उसको देख क्यों रहा था, क्यों? बिकॉज जिम हैज़ लॉस्ट ऑल वर्ड्स, बिकॉज व्हाट ही हैज़ बोट फॉर डेला आर ऑफ नो यूज नाउ। जो चीज़ वो डेला के लिए लेके आया था वो किसी काम की नहीं थी, एंड दैट इज द रीजन वाई ही इज नॉट एबल टू से एनीथिंग और टू मूव। They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart had simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession. And Ella knew that those combs are very costly combs, so she always just looked at them. She always yearned for them, and she always craved for them. She always wanted to have them, but with the least hope of possession. She never hoped that one day she would have these combs with her. And now they were hers, but the treasures that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. And now they are hers, the combs, but the treasures, those sweet hair which might have been decorated by these combs, they are gone now. वो अब वहाँ नहीं है। But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." But still, she just hugged them to her bosom, and she liked them, she loved them, and at length she just restored her energy, her courage, and she was able to say to Jim these comforting words that you know my hair grows very fast, कि तुम जानते हो मेरे hair जो है वो बहुत ही जल्दी बढ़ते हैं, means these combs will be used by me, they will be useful for me anyway. And then Della leaped up like a little singed cat and cried, "Oh, oh." And then she has remembered something and she just leaped and cried. Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. And why she jumped, why she has shown that eager movement? Because so far Jim has not seen his gift, his present, what is to be given to him by Della, and she had opened her palm for Jim to look at his present. The dull precious metal seemed to flash with the reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. And he said that dull metal. Why dull? Because it was already being told to us that the chain which Della was purchased was without any ornamentation. It was a pure and simple chain, but still it is sparkling with the zeal, with the spirit, with the desire of Della. Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You will have to look at the time 100 times a day now. She said, "Isn't it dandy? Isn't it beautiful, Jim? I have searched the whole of the market for you, and now you can look at the time any time when you want to look at it. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." And she said, "Now give your watch to me so that I can fit this chain. I can attach this chain to your watch and see that how suitable it is with your watch." Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. But instead of obeying her, means instead of giving her the watch, he just sat down on the couch, putting his hand behind him on the head and just smiling at her. "Della," said he, and then he said, "Della, let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while." He said that, okay, just leave those Christmas presents of ours aside and for some time. They are too nice to use just as present, because they are so nice that we cannot use them at this very moment. Why? Because I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs. Now look at the sacrifice, look at the love, look at the devotion which they have made for each other. Jim had sold the watch, that beautiful golden watch, which was to given him by his father and to him by his father. Why? Just to buy these beautiful combs for Dela's hair. And now suppose you put the chops on. And he says, now I think that you should prepare the breakfast. So this is it. Means the story, the gift of the Magi title. Those Magi's, they were popular, they were famous, they were worshipped, they were venerated, they were respected, they were talked about, they have become a history. Why? Because they have brought valuable gifts for the child Christ. But here he had talked about a gift of the two simplest people, and those gifts which they have purchased for each other, which they have given to each other, they were not that much costly, they were not that much valuable, they doesn't have that kind of heavenly bliss with them. But still he says, the writer says, the storyteller says that still they are more worthy than the gifts of the Magi. Those $8 per week is far more than $1 million a year, because this is not the calculation of a mathematician. This is what the storyteller has told us from the point of view of the devotion, the love, the sacrifice which they have made for each other. The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. He says, yes, I must say that as you all know that the Magi, they were wise men. Means they were saints, they were priests, they were very wise men. They were wonderfully wise men, and they have brought valuable gifts for the child Christ. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. And yes, they were the ones who had started this tradition of giving presents, giving gifts at Christmas. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And he says, obviously, as they were wise men, so their gifts were also very wise, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And he says their gifts were also very wide, so that they cannot be exchanged by someone in case of duplication. मान लो ना उसके जैसा कोई और हो तो वो exchange ना हो जाए, इसलिए वो ऐसी भी नहीं थी कि कोई उनको exchange कर सके. No one can duplicate them. Means they were so precious, they were so valuable. And here I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. And he says, here I am, who has related to you a foolish story of these two children who had sacrificed their most valuable treasures for each other. But in a last word to the wise of these days, let it be said that of all who give gifts, these two were the wisest. But he says, still, if I would like to relate this story, if I would have to tell this story to the wise person of today, है ना, आज के दिन अगर मुझे आज के समय में ये बात किसी को बतानी पड़े, because those Magi's were the old days, है ना, वो पुराने समय की बात है. They have brought those gifts for Christ. But now for today, if I have to tell that who is the wisest person to give gifts to anybody, then these two were the wisest people who has given gifts to each other. Oh, all who give and receive gifts such as they are wisest. And he says, if not they, I must say that all those people who give and who take gifts like this, the gifts which they have given to each other, if someone gives gifts like this, then they are the wisest. Not those Magi's, but I would like to call wisest to whom? To all the person who gives and takes, who give and take gifts like Dela and Jim, they are the wisest. Oh, everywhere they are wisest, they are the Magi. And in a very strong line, he concludes the story that for everywhere, it means because you know that the storyteller, the writer, he knows a very limited area, a limited access for his story. If he is writing in England, if he is writing in America, if he is writing in Europe, so a very fixed territory. He thinks that his reader will be this much, or the people who know the story of the Magi, those saints, they were also very limited, because only the people who are related with Christian religion, they know about this thing, the gift of Magi. So he says, not only those people who believe in Christianity, not only those people who have heard the story of the Magi, but they are wisest everywhere. Not even in Christianity, not in Europe only, not in England only, not in America only, but everywhere in this world, in this universe, these two people, or the people like them, are the wisest. They are the Magi. And I must say that they are the Magi, because those old Magi's were only heard of, and these are the true Magi, because they have sacrificed everything which they have for the sake of giving a present. So the tradition which was started by those Magi's has brought to its climax, has brought to its best form by these two people, by giving and by taking gifts. So this is it. Thank you.